epic BoJack
BoJack
time.
Horseman.
BoJack Horseman time, guys. So today
Joe on a horse.
we are reviewing, if you couldn't guess already, BoJack Horseman. If you can read in the title, we're reviewing BoJack Horseman. So BoJack Horseman was probably like one of my favorite shows that I've watched in like the adult animation side of things in a really long time. It was really fucking good.
You know, back in the 90s, he was
Back,
in a really famous TV show.
it's true.
It's true.
Everything from the music to like every scene where he's having like a fucking mental breakdown is just perfect in the show. It
Okay, there were a couple episodes that maybe weren't so perfect. Like the first two were kind of like weird. Like they kind of felt like a Family Guy ripoff almost. But I think that was more so they could kind of like sell the idea of what BoJack Horseman is more than it was like this is what the show's gonna be. But then like later on in the first season, like it really shifted into this like story that was more than just like this kind of standard adult animation thing.
mm-hmm. And
Like,
like every season finale made me tear up.
yeah.
It it's a really emotional show that deals with him hurting people and trying to get better, but
Also, James, fuck you, because I asked you why do these two reporters in the last season have these like old timey like voices and why are they dressed old timey like and you were like, oh, you'll find out, and I never found out, James. I never found out.
yeah, yeah. You'll find out, Sam. But like, I think the thing that fucked me up the most is, uh, I think it was season 2 or season 3 where he goes to New Mexico with his long lost friend, because he's been going through some shit. He really wants to find someone that like can help him and like care for him and all this shit, which is never gonna happen unless he fucking does it himself, you know? Which is like his whole arc is based around him coming to terms with his issues and realizing that it's not everyone else's fault that he's like this, it's his fault, you know? Which is a pretty good fucking theme to have, because I feel like a lot of people go through some of the similar things that BoJack does and just fucking put off their troubles on other people. But like, he goes to New Mexico, right, with his friend. I forgot her name. I know what the daughter's name is, but what's the deer's name?
I don't.
Anyway, the name's not really that important to what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
She
he
says that was that season's fuck.
what?
You didn't realize that in every season there's only one fuck,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah,
that.
yeah. I know, but I didn't hear what you said. But like,
Oh.
anyway, so he goes to New Mexico because in the previous season where he's he goes to his best friend's funeral and all
House.
that shit.
No, he goes to the house in the first season.
Oh, it's in the second season then, where he goes to his friend's like
Yeah. I think that was like
gathering.
the opening of the second season.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe.
she gives him the piece of paper with the location of the store. He goes there, and he realizes that she's not the same person, and that she has a family and all this. And he really
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
like
And
that, because he thought he could, date her and all this other stuff and basically corrupt her, which that's not inherently what they were saying, but that's basically
that's
what would
what
have
we would have
happened.
ended up doing.
Yeah, but anyway, he ended up corrupting her anyway by like just completely fucking over her life for a little bit, and Penny's life, which is her daughter, um, by trying to sleep with her, which technically it's not illegal there because she was 17, but it's still not morally correct for him
Yeah.
to take advantage of her like that.
Well, and it's like that trip to New Mexico kind of like ruined his relationship with Hollyhock too, because
Yeah,
he
which
accidentally got
also
the
broke me. Which I think that's the part where I like, because I really fucking loved Hollyhock. I
yeah.
thought she was really good for BoJack. It kind of seemed like BoJack was starting to get better towards the end when he stopped trying to fucking, you know,
And
that
she
that
found out in New Mexico, and
yeah, and like really that scene when he finds out that Hollyhock doesn't want to be in his life anymore, and where he just looked so broken, that
mm,
that hits hard. I'm just saying.
yeah, I think that my favorite episode is probably the view from halfway down, where he
Yeah,
almost dies.
that's probably the best episode out of any adult animation thing that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good
Zach
episode.
Braff was a great addition.
I love all of the episodes with BoJack's mom too, because
Yeah.
like that whole story, because you really start to understand that like she was treating him like that. I, it almost kind of seemed like she was treating him like that to kind of make herself feel better in a way,
And I
because
think the
she's
free
a really
taco,
broken
the free
person. What Sam?
it was probably like my favorite episode about that character, and she wasn't even really in it.
Yeah. It's BoJack's problems stem from his family issues, which is a lot of people's issues stem from
Mm-hmm.
that too. Which
I think that I really like. I think I like the more like experimental episodes of BoJack, the one where there was like almost no spoken dialogue and it was all just like animation basically, and then the one where there
yeah,
was
the one
almost
where
no
he was
animation
underwater.
and it was all spoken dialogue, which was Free Churro.
Yeah, where he walks into his supposed mom's funeral, which turns out
It's not even one
he's
funeral.
such a fucking bad, son.
Yeah.
Which, not saying that she really deserved much, but like, you know, it's still kind of fucked up. You know,
Yeah.
there's just so much about this
And then there's
show.
the episode where he rebuilds the old Chickerman place, and then he destroys it right after.
Yeah, there's just so much about this show that's great, and I highly encourage anyone that hasn't watched it or hasn't finished it
Oh, well, we
to
just spoiled the whole fucking thing, basically.
finish
Well,
it.
no, we didn't even talk about Todd or Diane or Mr. Peanut Butter.
Well, their stories are still important, but
Yeah.
well,
But,
I think
like,
Todd's more important than
Todd's the emotional core of the story, I think.
well, yeah, because really, he's been putting up with his shit for so long, and really the breaking point when he moved out was when he didn't come to his stand-up performance. I feel.
Oh, yeah. Because he kind of just let him, like, having sex with his friend go, and he also let the rock opera go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all those things kind of combined together where he's like, BoJack is a shitty person, but like this takes the cake, and he can't fucking stand it anymore. So he goes to live with Mr. Peanut Butter, and then I forget why he moved out of Mr. Peanut Butter's place.
Because he was a CEO.
Oh yeah. So then he,
Corporate Todd.
yeah, and then he moved in with
Oh,
Princess
no,
Carolyn.
Mr. Peanut Butter shit kind of got crazy when he, like, broke up with Diane and he got with Pickles. So
Yeah.
he moved in
Oh shit.
Princess
Yeah.
Carolyn.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Mr. Peanut Butter is a very broken character.
But he means well,
Yeah,
at least.
he means well, but like he goes about things all wrong, and I think him trying to buy people's happiness is part of his whole issue, because I mean that's why Diane
Yeah.
started fucking hating him. That's why it's that's basically the
That's
stem
like
of all of his fucking
Justin
problems.
Bieber.
I also kind of feel really good for Diane where she left off, because she distanced herself from BoJack, which was it was a bad influence on her in general, and Hollywood itself was kind of just a bad influence on Diane. Her family was a bad influence. So her getting out of there and staying with that dude and eventually marrying him, it was a really fitting end for
Um,
for her.
and I'm still sad that Becca never got to book Beck.
We didn't even talk about Sarah Lynn, which I think is by far the most tragic character out of all of them, because she got
so many, like,
she got the worst ending out of every. This show feels so real for it being a sitcom, you know?
about a horse.
Yeah, it. This show's so grounded in reality, to be honest.
I still think it's weird that BoJack is played by Will Arnett, who, like, I know best as Lego Batman.
Yeah, he plays that role so well though, and also Mabel plays Sarah Lynn, the Mabel's voice actor.
Well, you don't know her name?
No,
I don't either, but, like, still, you should have known.
Anyway,
the guy from Breaking Bad plays Todd. He said
yeah.
Baking Bad. I mean, that's kind of what it is too. So.
Yeah, which that kind of makes sense for Todd.
Yeah.
Hey. But Sarah Lynn's character starts out being like, her whole trouble is stemmed from her mom putting her in that role, and also BoJack. I actually think BoJack more than her mom at some points, because BoJack was kind of like a father figure for her, and then he just fucked her life up, man. Like, giving her alcohol and all this other shit. And then him fucking her in the future, which isn't technically wrong, but it's wrong because, you know, BoJack is a father figure to her, and that's what makes it wrong.
Yeah.
And then just her finally getting clean, and then BoJack coming in there and basically fucking killing her at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's also when BoJack goes there and basically fucking gives. Well, I love how BoJack goes to Penny's college and basically just gives her a fucking PTSD.
Yeah, a Vietnam flashback.
Yeah. I mean, he meant well by going there, but he just shouldn't have. Like, he wanted to make it up to her. That's the whole reason of going there, was to apologize.
He was drunk out of his mind and not thinking straight as well.
Mm-hmm.
He
was also high, wasn't he?
No, at the time he was. We went back to the college and tried to see her. Carolyn. That's when they were on their bender.
Yeah. Princess Carolyn, I think, has one of the best outcomes, because I really love Judah. I thought he was one of... he was definitely high up there. But, when Princess Carolyn just, like, kicked him out, I didn't really understand why. Like, I kind of understood, but I also didn't at the same time. Because he was...
betrayed her. Trust. I mean, he was acting in, like, what he thought was, like, her best interest, but, like, at the same time, that's not what she wanted him to do.
Yeah. But eventually they make up after, the fucking mouse dude.
Much better than mine?
Yeah, yours is really grainy. But, so, yeah, I don't want to spoil the whole fucking show. We basically did that to begin with, but, like...
But it's good. Probably 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. This is probably going to be my first 10 out of 10. There's, like, even things that I can complain about is just a nitpick. Like, there's nothing that stands out as bad in this show. Like, it's so good where even if I can find something to fucking complain about, it's like I said, a nitpick. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Go watch it, and we'll see you in the next review. Epic. Good.